Hello everyone, I hope you are doing great. Today we are having our sixth conversation activity video and we are going to work on food and gastronomy. Our terminal objective for our classes is always asking a set of argumentative questions and enabling our students to answer our questions with appropriate arguments. They're expected to talk about their food preferences, what they like, what they do not like. They are expected to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of fast food. Students are also advised to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of homemade food. And of course, the students are advised to talk about the relationships between food and culture. For example, what we call table manners. Our enabling objectives in this regard, for grammar, we have no count nouns. So normally food sources are no count. For example, yogurt. So I love yogurt. Not I love a yogurt, I love yogurt. Neither of them are true. I can't stand drinking coffee. Again, I can't stand drinking a coffee or coffees. Neither of them are true. Both yogurt and coffee are no count nouns. Descriptive language, for example, steak is delicious, Iranian kebab is yummy. So again, we have descriptive language, we have a set of adjectives, yummy, delicious, and copular verbs, linking verbs such as the verb to be, which describes different types of food. For example, in here, steak and kebab. Topic related vocabulary. So we have a set of vocabulary. We always ask our students to memorize them and use them however they could. So fast food, ready-made food, convenience food, these are examples of, let's say, not very healthy types of food that these days, especially because of sedentary lifestyle, people try to consume on a daily basis. Binge eating is a kind of a bad habit of overeating, overconsumption of food in one go. So in one food serving, when people eat a lot, this is called binge eating. Fussy eater or picky eaters are the people who are really selective in terms of the food they eat. It is really hard to serve food for these people. They do not eat everything. They avoid eating, for example, meat. If you want to cook meat for them, you have to cook meat under certain conditions. So fussy eaters are really difficult to serve, especially young children. Food styling is, let's say, all about designing the food. Food serving is every meal that you take in one go. Table manners, as its name indicates, the social behavior, the cultural values that we have to respect while eating on the table with friends or family members. There are some useful expressions related to eating. So we have coffee is not my type. And this expression, you say that I do not like coffee. The same thing goes for coffee does not agree with me. Probably in this sentence, you are indicating the fact that you may have some allergic reactions to drinking coffee, or you may just have some digestive problems if you drink coffee. I'm not much of a coffee drinker. Again, I do not like to drink coffee. I'm not much of a meat eater. So if there is a kind of drink, say coffee drinker, for example, tea drinker, but if it is a kind of a meat or something to eat, so then I'm not much of a big that thing eater. I'm not much of a big meat eater. If you like something, you can always use these expressions. I'm a big coffee drinker, I'm a big meat eater, or I am fond of drinking tea. So these expressions, all three, express that you are interested in drinking or consuming that type of food source. So let's now plunge into our actual conversation activity planning. Before attending the class, we will ask our students to watch a series of videos. So the first one is a useful video having some vocabulary, topic related vocabulary concerning food and food sources. The second one is an IELTS speaking test with some questions and answers. And the third one is a long video, about 2 hours. This is absolutely a must for those people who have enough time, but should be avoided at all costs for students who are in a hurry and do not have enough time. The first thing we do when we start our class is called Warmup. So as always, we expect our students to give definitions or examples of a couple terms we provide them, the yellow ones. Local food and their ingredients, for example. Normally students in Iran, since we have a wide range of, let's say, local food, which could change from one region to another. If we ask this question, every student will come up with a wide range of new ideas. So we will have different types of ingredients. In this case, for example, we have kebab, which is normally on the basis of meat. We have meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, supper. So these are meals. Supper is normally the, let's say, food serving you will have between lunch and dinner. We have seafood, so basically fish, seashells, lobsters, crab, etc. These are different types of food that you can, let's say, harvest from the sea. Be careful, fish is one of those nouns which will not be pluralized. So the plural form of fish is the same as the singular fish. Definitions. So balanced diet. Balanced diet means a kind of diet in which people will have everything: vitamins, fruits, vegetables, meat. So it is a balanced diet. It has everything in balance. Eating in moderation means eating as much as your body needs, not too much, not binge eating, not overeating, or not, let's say, eating less than you need, like, let's say, the case of people with anorexia. Alimentary habits, it means basically any habits that you follow with regards to your eating. Either you will have breakfast early in the morning or you will eat too late at night. So these are different types of alimentary habits, positive or negative. Vegetarian people are those who avoid eating meat and instead they try to focus more on vegetables. Vegans are the people who are like vegetarians, however, they avoid even dairy products because they are derived from animals. For example, they do not eat yogurt, milk, or cheese. Fruitarian people are those who have fruits. They try to eat fruit as much as possible. A chunky food, it means it has big chunks of, for example, meat. So very delicious, very appealing, very mouth-watering. The look is beautiful. Succulent, it means very juicy. You can use it for meat. For example, a steak was very succulent. It means it was perfectly baked, quite appealing to look, and very juicy. Exotic means anything that is not domestic. So exotic food, exotic meal is the type of food that you cannot find in your home country. For example, if you come to Iran, kebab or DZ, these are the types of local Iranian food which would be exotic for tourists. For Iranian people, if we go to, for example, Mexico, chapulines is a kind of exotic food. There is a large extent of exotic food offered to tourists in every country, I believe. So no matter where you go, there is always some kind of exotic meals provided to you as tourists. For our conversation activity questions, we have a set of questions and answers. This is far from being comprehensive. I have uploaded some more questions in the comment section below. There is no copyright, so feel free to check it out and copy them and use them in your classes if needed. So the questions include, for example, what kind of food would you like to eat? Do you prefer eating at home, homemade food, or do you prefer eating in a restaurant? So the food provided in a restaurant. So each one of them has their own advantages and disadvantages. For example, homemade food is healthier, while eating at a restaurant is going to be, let's say, a new experience, an interesting experience, especially if you're going to eat with your friends. So it's a kind of social activity which you normally cannot have at home. Do you think people eat healthier nowadays? So I think no. The answer is no. We can easily say no. And the reason is because people do not have enough time. People work around the clock in order to make ends meet. Therefore, since especially women work nowadays hand in hand with men, we do not have enough time to cook at home and we try to rely on fast food, ready-made food, which are really convenient. How can we promote healthy eating habits in our society? We could talk about promotion of healthy eating habits, adding taxes, for example, value-added taxes to fast food restaurants in order to demotivate people from over-consuming fast food and encouraging them to use organic food. Do you think how we eat is a part of our culture? Well, yes, we have table manners. For example, in Iran, whenever we want to sit on the table, it is customary to wait for the elderly people to join so that we could start. It is absolutely a taboo to start eating before elderly people have joined the dinner table. Or, for example, in some other countries, people pray before starting to eat. So this is a taboo to start immediately to eat before praying God for the grace we have received. Some people, some cultures avoid eating meat, for example. Buddhist people, because of their religious limitations, they avoid eating meat. Or in some other countries, for example, in Iran, some alcoholic drinks are forbidden, for example, wine, beer. Some other types of food are just location specific. For example, disease is uniquely found in Iran. You cannot find it anywhere else. Or chapulines is famous for Mexico. You can hardly find chapulines any other country in the world. Or even if you do, the quality of chapolines would not be as ultimate quality as the one you can find in the original country. In terms of formative assessment, we always rely on our students' feedback. So once they answer questions, we try to check it out and see if our students are moving on the right track. If they need some feedback, we will provide them feedback. Just be careful not to stop our students. Try to let them finish their speaking. Once they have finished, you can start giving your feedback. We also focus on enabling objectives. In this case, we have descriptive language, we have a set of adjectives, and especially no count nouns. We finally have to give tips. We provide alternative answers, better answers to our students, but we do not prescribe. We describe better solutions, and it is absolutely the ultimate responsibility of our students to personalize those answers for their own use. It is not our responsibility to prescribe the use of this particular idea in speaking. Finally, as the homework assignment at the end of the class, we will provide some IELTS Task 2 cue cards related to food and food sources, and we will ask our students to record their voice for a couple minutes and send it to our colleagues at the correction department in Parsi Institute. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Next week we will work on culture.